Good evening. I'm Spot On Weather meteorologist Matthew Euler, and now we're going to delve into the long range sneak peek. And this is November 28th, 2016, and this is one of my favorite areas to cover is looking at long range type forecasts. So let's delve right into what we can expect. We're going to start basically where we left off on the short range forecast, and we're going to pick up on 2 December 2016, which will be this Friday. All right, so my two favorite charts I like to look at, the 300 millibar chart here on the left, and then the 850 millibar chart here on the right. The 300 millibar chart generally shows the outline of the jet stream, okay, right and down the main area, the tightest packing of these lines, okay, and these yellow and orange and red areas indicate higher wind speeds that flow in the upper atmosphere through the jet stream pattern. So what we have starting off on the 2nd of December is more of a trough of lower pressure over the western United States deep into Southern California. And then we have a southwesterly wind flow, west southwesterly wind flow, fairly zonal, straight west to east from Kansas through Southeast Virginia. Looking at the temperatures, the red areas indicate colder than normal temperatures along with the purple. The bluer areas are colder, a lot of cooler air invading the whole United States as a whole, but fairly seasonal for this time of year. Moving on to the charts, the jet stream on 5 December, which will be basically going into Sunday. We have that trough of low pressure. The previous trough of low pressure over the west has now moved further southeast over southern New Mexico and has become more of a cutoff low, just sitting there spinning. The main jet stream then reorientates itself with a trough in the Pacific Northwest, a ridge over the central United States, and then more troughing again over the eastern United States into Southeast Virginia. So this will give us a little bit colder air briefly. As you can see on the 850 millibar, the temperature is at 5,000 feet. The orange and the magenta and red areas indicate very cold air at 5,000 feet, anywhere from negative 22 to negative 26 degrees Celsius over western Canada. So you can see how the differences in the orientation of the cold air at 5,000 feet are from day 4 on Friday to Monday, 5 December. A big difference. You can see cold air really building over western Canada over that snowpack. At that point in time, we have a northwesterly wind flow over Southeast Virginia at 5,000 feet, and we do have some strong jet stream energy indicated by the yellow area here, and that indicates higher wind speeds of 120 to 130 knots of wind blowing. So a lot of upper level atmospheric dynamics going on, a lot of energy. And then by 8 December, we expect that trough from the previous period over the northwest here to basically deepen and move further eastward into the central United States. And then we have a little bit of a southwesterly wind flow over southwestern Virginia, which is going to result in milder temperatures again next week. We'll sum this up here in a minute on the long-range final thoughts. And then, but look at the cold air at 5,000 feet as this trough deepens over the central United States. A lot of cold air starts to pour out of Canada. So what's going to be neat and interesting to watch is to see if this cold air with time, there's an area of low pressure here that's forming over the Texas Panhandle, Oklahoma area. As that transits to the east-northeast, will this cold air being brought down behind it into southeastern Virginia? And that's really what we think is going to happen. This is an Arctic outbreak, one of the first strongest pushes into North Dakota at this time, northern Minnesota. We'll have to keep a close eye on things as they evolve. I will say that these models that we look at as forecasting tools have had a hard time. They've been very inconsistent over the last couple weeks. So overall for Southeast Virginia, our final long-range thoughts. All right, we're looking at seasonable temperatures this Friday through Sunday with highs in the 50s and lows in the 30s. And that's fairly normal for this time of year over this part of the United States. A milder air again moves in next week temporarily with temperatures moderating back into the 60s during the day. And then we're still looking at a switch to a colder pattern that will begin late next week after 9 December. Okay, and we're basing that forecast off of this 5,000 foot pool of cold air that starts rushing out of Canada. We really have a strong belief that this is eventually going to shift east into southeastern Virginia and down in the Midwest and eastern United States as a whole. And that's what we're basing our long-range forecast and thoughts on this evening. Arctic air begins to invade the northern United States, as indicated here, by Thursday, the 8th of December. You know, we're at the time of year where we have a very low sun angle, very short days. Some of the shortest days of the year are coming up here over the next couple weeks. So it's that time of year where the cold air masses over the snowpack of Canada, they really start moving south. All right, picking up where I left off, we're expecting modified cold air outbreaks for southeastern Virginia as troughs occasionally orientate themselves over the area. This won't be a long-lasting, locked-in weather pattern, but we will have some shots of cold air periodically. After 9 December, we could be looking at temperatures during the day in the mid to upper 40s for highs, with lows in the low 30s, possibly upper 20s overnight and in the morning. Winter forecast is still on track from Spot On Weather. We are still expecting more cold than warm episodes with below normal temperatures overall and slightly above normal snowfall for Hampton Roads area. Again, our main belief in the winter forecast is the La Nina is very weak and it will continue to remain very weak. Some models are forecasting La Nina, in fact, to go back to neutral ENSO type conditions, La Nina to be done after December. So we could be looking at neutral conditions for the El Nino Southern Oscillation beginning January, all right, and with the other oscillations, the Madame Julian Oscillation, the Arctic Oscillation, and North Atlantic Oscillation, those, in our opinion, are going to be stronger than this weak La Nina. So therefore, you're not going to get the typical La Nina type conditions this winter. So our forecast is still on track. Bottom line, more cold air than warm air, below normal temperatures overall this winter across southeast Virginia. And again, we are still expecting a slightly above normal snowfall, and we really believe one of the reasons for that will be a snowstorm that is 6 inches or greater. We'll get one big one this winter, and that's really what we believe. So again, follow us on Facebook and Twitter, as well as Instagram. We're on there, Spot On Weather. And we'll keep updating you as we progress. And we hope everybody has a great evening. Also, we're on Google+, the Google+ community, as well as YouTube channel. So check us out, Spot On Weather. If we're not spot on, we're not doing it right. Have a great evening, everyone.